think about the game first?
Okay, so it's just it's just I don't know. So that the first game, that it was nothing to write home about. The second
Yeah.
one, this one is the Zimbabwe. They are blaming the keeper. It's not about the keeper. The
Hmm.
whole team just looks like everybody just go to the field. You are professionals. Play what you can play. There was nothing there
Hmm.
to pick out. Like you did this, you did that. There was no formation going on. And yes, we might be patriotic and say don't. It doesn't call for alarm. I hate more matches to go. But
Hmm.
looking at the pattern of play, is this how you want to play the remaining 8 match? Then there's no
Hmm.
hope.
Hmm.
So it's the pattern of play people are talking about and they are crying about. So it's not about the result, obviously. Yes, 8 matches to go. Can you go to South Africa and get a win? Can
Hmm.
you? So South Africa is still like the toughest people in that team. And you have not
Yeah.
even played the toughest people and you have drawn 4 points. Come on.
Hmm.
Lesotho, our
Was hired. I happen to have a Portuguese friend, and the day after we hired Jose Peseiro, he came to
Yeah.
meet me and he said the person that you hired is a
Hmm.
meme back home in Portugal. He's someone who has never been successful with any of the big teams. So, and me as a Nigerian, how did you expect me to take that? Then I went back and I went to take a look at his record. This man has never won a major trophy. It's the same thing with Gennett Rowe as well. And then when you
Hmm.
take a look at the performances of the African nations, the other African nations at the 2022 World Cup that just happened in
Hmm.
Qatar, all of them had homegrown coaches. So, there's a lot that is wrong with Nigeria that I feel like we cannot fully dissect on this show. We might probably need to do like a special show. But few things that I'll just highlight is the fact that
All right.
this man is not tactically sound, in my own opinion. That's the first thing. With the crop of players that we have, you going back to a 4-4-2 to quote unquote accommodate the strikers is, should I say, okay, it's valid in one aspect because we've got a lot of firepower and we want the best of goals. But what about the midfield? We've had no midfield for like 2 years now. Wilfred Ndidi has been on and off with injury, and then after
Hmm.
AFCON, he has found it difficult to get a good vein of form and to get back into the team and to play regularly. Just like Sheye said, there was no logical reason as to why Alex Iwobi was our deepest playing midfielder when there's Rafael Onyedika on the bench. And I don't know why he didn't play him in that position. There's so many other options that we can go with, but it just seems like the coach lacks that impetus to get it done.
Impetus.
And it's going to be very, very sad. I see no point in us going to the AFCON, in my own opinion, because
Hmm.
we're not going to perform well. So there is a lot that needs to be done. We need to get a better coach. And I will scapegoat certain players, the likes of Moses Simon. Look, Nigerian players have a habit of doing things in the national team that they dare not do in their club sides. Moses Simon is not a set piece specialist, yet he was consistently on the
Tend
set.
to focus more on performances than results at times. And to be honest, we were poor against Lesotho, and then we're awful. We were egregious yesterday against Zimbabwe because the patterns of play were actually not not clear. You could see clearly that the players were improvising. There was really little or no tactical input from the touchline. And I'm surprised. I've been surprised by a few of the coaches' selections.
Hmm.
But I feel ultimately, I've seen several calls for him to be sacked. I personally don't think he should be sacked yet. His
Hmm.
contract expires in February. The smart thing will be to let him go
Hmm.
after the AFCON. After all, I think he was the one in charge when we were playing the qualifiers. So let him see his contract through,
Hmm.
and then when February comes post AFCON, let him go and then get someone else in. I think he has made obvious tactical and personnel um, um, wrong choices, obviously, because I feel against Lesotho, I saw he will be playing as our deepest midfielder. I've been surprised he has been unwilling to utilize Rafael Onyedika, who is a natural defensive midfielder who can play as a deepest midfielder. He has been unwilling to utilize him. He has mostly leaned on Ndidi and Iwobi, and whenever Ndidi is not available, he tends to play Onyeka and Iwobi. And then when that happens, you see Iwobi acting as the deepest midfielder, which is just weird when you have Onyedika on the bench. And then he talked about players not having chemistry and cohesion after Lesotho, and then yesterday he made several changes to the team. He sprintly dropped the likes of Iheanacho, who was more or less our best player against Lesotho. He dropped him from the start against Zimbabwe, then brought him on when we were behind. So the two things that have been a bit surprising, and then obviously the goalkeeping situation has been strange.
Yourself, if we wanted to get a better coach, who do we get? Who is the person we get? Do you want to give? Can we afford to get someone like a Javier Renard? A Javier Renard will not even collect $100,000 a month. You understand? Even this Walid Regragui of Morocco, if by chance he left. I mean, so the truth is, see, Super Eagles, they know that they can't afford to pay coaches. So they would rather stick with a coach who is ready to take a lot of nonsense. That was the same thing with Genotro, because, and really, let's be frank with ourselves, even the $50,000 Genotro was collected, he's not going to collect it anywhere else. And Genotro knows that he cannot, he can't get, there's no top side that will hire him. Same with Pesero. I mean, the last club country he managed was Venezuela. Venezuela that the country is in economic. The question now is, number one, the NFF cannot afford to get good foreign coaches. Okay, let us stop reminiscing about that era of Westerhoff, Bonfrey. Even let's be sincere with ourselves. Westerhoff was not a big name when we hired him. You understand? So it was just unfortunate. He was fortunate to have some success, but he was not a big name in Europe. I mean, when you talk about the big, you understand? We can't do that. I mean, there is this man that managed the Mamelodi Sundowns, Motsepe, or is it Motsipe or something? That guy is a hot cake because he went to Alali, but NFF cannot afford it. So if you sack Pesero, we are going to be stuck with looking for people around. Who is that person that we can take? We took this guy to AFCON. What's his name? Eguavon. We saw how we saw what happened. And I'm sure nobody wants it. Finidi George is a part of the technical team. He's presently the manager of the Nimba. But if you give Finidi George, who is in the technical team, does Finidi George have what it takes to handle? See, the way I look at Super Eagles is just like Manchester United at the moment. So it's not necessarily about, you understand, it's not just about like the coaching that is the coach or something. The culture within the setup, the foundation within the NFL, everything is just wrong. So the truth is, even if you bring another coach, what's the guarantee he's going to perform? And don't forget that the NFF owes you. So you imagine now, is it Renard you want to go if you are able to get him? Or a Motsipe? Or a Regragu? Or whoever coach we get? Is that who you want to get? That's why the likes of Pesero or even a Rock can take the job. Because they know that, okay, we might not pay you for 6 months, but maybe after 7 months, we pay you all the backlog. And they can go with that. But with that kind of mentality, let's ask ourselves, do you really think the manager himself will want to give his 100% when you are not paying him rent? We should actually factor in all these things, because it's not like as if maybe the NFF are doing their own part. Okay, things are wrong in the administration of the NFF, and I think these things will spill down into the coaching crew. Let's not forget that the NFF imposed some players. So some of you that are saying, how can he still be playing this? NFF, now them they impose them. And do you want to go against your paymasters when you know that we don't have a structure where the manager has the overall say? Yes, we see what NFF does in age grade. Players who are not worthy to play age grade tournaments, NFF calls them up for no reason, and they must play them because they paid money and all.